Hey, sir.
Good day.
My name is Alan. My favorite character's voice is Kyung.
Okay.
Probably my favorite line of his is the supersize me.
Which I made up. In the original show, there's a point where he sees a very large pair of breasts, and in the Japanese it was, "They're huge!" And I was like, "Oh, come on, we can do better than that." And so instead of "they're huge," I went, "Supersize me!" And so,
my question for you, well, other than if you would say that.
if I would say supersize me?
Other than that,
I just did, but I'll do it again for you. Anything else?
yeah.
You want fries with that?
Yes. Supersize me. But no. From a comedic standpoint, who was your favorite character to voice?
Oh, interesting.
Who did you think was the funniest? And maybe what is one of your favorite lines from?
Who's the funniest character I've ever voiced? Wow, that's tough. Haruhi Suzumiya is a pretty funny show, but if I had to choose one show I was in that was like sometimes the height of comedy, it would probably have to be Slayers. That show has some of the silliest stuff in it I have ever seen. It's just so great. And to have a fantasy show with humor, fantasy and humor is very hard. Usually fantasy is, we have to destroy the one ring and the fate of the world rests on the shoulders of one little hobbit, you know? It's like this sort of horribly deadly stakes, you know? And then Lena's like, Dragon Slave! Did you have to blow them all up, Lena? You know, and this wonderful humor about it. So I think there's some lines of Zelgoddesses in Slayers that are pretty fantastic. He's always so deadpan, which is so great. And he's trying to talk to them. I mean, there's one scene where he's trying to talk to them, and he goes, I wish you all would stop bothering me. And they won't stop eating. And he goes, are you even listening to me? And they go, what? And he's like, look, either eat or talk. And they go, And Zell's like, my fault. Will you please stop eating and talk? So yeah, most anything Zell has to do is pretty funny.
All right, thank you.
You bet. Supersize me.
Hello.
Hello.
First, I wanted to just give a shout out to my friend Whitney. It's her birthday today, and I was just wondering if you could give her a happy birthday wish.
Happy birthday, Whitney! Big shout out to you. Well done.
And then I was just wondering, you were in Transformers War for Cybertron as Breakdown. I know his character didn't come back, but would you like to come back for Fall of Cybertron?
Do actors refuse work?
You have a choice,
No. Am I an actor?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. You do the voice for one of my favorite superhero characters, which is Roy Harper, Speedy, or Arsenal, one-armed Roy.
Yeah, who knows?
I would like to know what was the experience for working with Young Justice, because I know there was issues, because often there were many hiatuses and...
Well, I think what's ironic is that we didn't have hiatuses when we were producing. Usually when we're doing a domestic animated show, they try their best to try to record an episode a week. They can't always do it. Sometimes there's delays with the scripts. And so maybe we'll do one every 2 weeks. Or maybe there may even be a 2-week break. So like, you know, week 1 we record, then 2 and 3 we're dark, and then week 4 we record. But the challenge with Young Justice was that when we got done recording, we recorded the whole first season, and then Cartoon Network aired a couple of seasons, and then they didn't air them for like months. And we were all scratching our heads, because we're like, the show's done, guys, why don't you want to air it? So I don't know why Cartoon Network had such a strange broadcast schedule for the show. Because as far as the production on Young Justice, it went forward like any other animated show. It was pretty much on schedule like any other animated show would be. So I don't know what that's about, because while I know the guys at Warner Brothers who did Young Justice. I don't know the guys at Cartoon Network, so.
Thank you.
You bet.
Hi.
Hi.
First, I want to say something I forgot to mention at the signing yesterday, which is that you're awesome.
Oh, thank
and I think we're all very happy that you make us so happy with your work, and I hope you're happy with that as well.
Oh, thank you. Mutual Admiration Society.
Yeah. And my question is more of a fun one. I hope to have a bit more success than with the wonderful Micah Solisard and Jade Saxon yesterday. And my question is, what is the most gratuitous accent you can do, and where did you pick it up?
Well, I think that the most gratuitous accent I can do is the one that happens when I call tech support. That was horrible, wasn't it? You said gratuitous, not the best accent,
Yeah.
the most gratuitous.
That was deliberate.
What's ironic is, it's actually a very easy accent to do. All you have to do is take the tip of your tongue and put it in the middle of the roof of your mouth and keep it there. Just keep the tip of your tongue in the middle of the roof of your mouth and you are ready to run a quickie mart.
I thank you so much.
Yes, horribly, horribly racist. Oh, God. But I love it when they call me and they go, "Hello, my name is Sebastian." And I'm like, I don't think your name is Sebastian. I think it's Rizwan. I don't know.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Now that half the cons going to be talking like that all day. I'm representing gamers up here. I love your role as Heat in Digital Devil Saga.
Thank you.
I just want to ask, are there any pros and cons or differences between voice acting for an anime and a video game, whether good or bad?
They are very different processes. Anime tends to be linear, one storyline all the way through. You get to see the characters. You have to match the lip flap, which is a challenge. But the advantage is you get to see the actual situation your character is in, which can help with your acting. It can help you play pretend when you see what the actual situation is. Sometimes when we're recording something like Young Justice, we've got a description in the screenplay, but then when the animation comes back, we go, oh, that's what it was going to look like, So that's sort of cool in anime that we can see the whole thing. The challenge is matching the lip flap. The challenge in video games is that many times they're non-linear, right? So it's going to go in a whole bunch of different directions. So it's very difficult to hold a story in your head. So you become much more dependent on the director helping you make sure you do the right performance. You also have very little context. The advantage in an anime is I have the context of the situation right there up in front of me on the screen. In the video game, I have many times no idea who I'm talking to, what's going on. I like to call video game acting Rubik's Cube acting, because you have to sort of be able to recombine the lines any way you want, and they still have to work. And so that can present its own challenges. Also, video game work tends to be far more vocally stressful, because they shoot things in video games a lot more than they shoot things in anime. They scream grenade a lot more in video games than they do in anime. So that's sort of that's the biggest thing. But frankly, I think it's mostly the fact that when you walk into a video game, you're sort of in a sensory deprivation tank most of the time. You're like, wait a minute, who am I talking to? What's going on? That's sort of the challenge.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
Hello.
Hello.
Happy birthday to the two other people, and I would like to say I am the third birthday.
Oh, it's not my birthday. I'm sorry if that was confusing. But I guess the two of them.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so Whitney and Dave. It's Dave and Whitney's birthday. Yay.
And it's also my birthday.
And it's usually your birthday. A hat trick. What's scary is that the law of probability states that there's probably like two more of you that have birthdays today, so.
Okay, my question is, you mentioned before that you're a classically trained opera singer.
Yes.
And that you did a cappella when you were in college.
Yes.
My question is, what is your favorite song, and could you sing part of it for us?
My favorite song. Wow, that's tough. Well, what I can do is I can sing you my favorite aria that I used to work on when I was doing more opera stuff. It's Colline's aria from La Boheme. For those of you who don't know, in La Boheme, Mimi is dying of tuberculosis, and they need money to get her medicine. And Colline, who's one of her roommates, has this coat that he's kept him warm, and so he's going to sell his coat, which means he's going to be very cold. And he loves his coat, so he sings a song to his coat, thanking his coat for keeping him warm and apologizing that he's going to have to sell it to save Mimi's life. Which of course doesn't work because it's an opera and everyone dies. There you go. But if I can remember the Italian, it goes something like Vecchia Zimmara senti, io resto pianto, a scendere il sacro monte devi, le mie grazie ricevi.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.